Oh yeah, right. You know, gas was that and down back then. Actually, this guy's worse. Our interest rates aren't 21% yet, so we're good. So, but maybe we can get them. Yeah, that would be awesome. I know, man. Yeah, people forget about that kind of stuff, which is amazing. You know, like, oh yeah, interest rates at 3, 2, 1. We're live. Hello, everybody.
Do you eat all your food usually?
Oh,
Look at that. We're getting live. Here it comes. Anyway, I just want to welcome everybody to the Skateboard Nation. We're welcome. It's Thursday, and my guest tonight is Dennis Martinez. Dennis went into the Hall of Fame in 2020. I'm privileged to have you here, Dennis.
glad to be here.
Yeah.
Sorry we're late. Rick was having a little bit of difficulty with his mic. So he was having a little difficulty with his mic.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That wasn't a mic. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get right into this because we got a lot to talk about.
Okay.
So I want to kind of get back to the very beginning because since I was there, there's a lot of stuff I missed in your career. And the first thing is like walk me through from like the very first time you started skating, where you were, what you were up to.
I mean, I started at 10 years old, but didn't think about the career. Didn't think about the career, it to be a career until about I was 12 years old. 1972, whatever. Yeah, that's when I began to get involved with skateboarding. Took it everywhere. Rode to school, rode it to work, and that was my transportation time.
Well, okay, so we're back in 72. So really the first contest, you were just kind of doing local contests at that time?
No, there was
that
for me there was no contest
okay?
at that time. For me,
There was
it just
nothing.
skating, Bay Park, skating different banks, riding the hills, different hills. Like around 1974, about the time.
Okay. Yeah, that's about the time I started skating myself, about 74 on a day-to-day. I quit every sport and just started skateboarding. And yeah, so okay, interesting. Next, so but you were like focused on okay, so this was what I remember, okay? You were a freestyle guy,
Yes.
okay? And I just remember like going to different contests back in the day and watching. I was the kid that was sitting behind the fence or whatever, watching people skate freestyle because man, I have no skills whatsoever in freestyle. But looking into all this stuff for you, man, I didn't know that you were an accomplished slalom rider.
Love slalom. I mean, if you were a Lacosta boy,
Yeah.
which I definitely was,
Okay.
you know, all the Lacosta boys and everything like
Can
that.
you-
know, I'm absolutely, you know, we did everything. Slalom, giant slalom, tight slalom, downhill, cross country taking place at that time, freestyle at that time, and every weekend at Lacosta, you could almost bet there were superstars that were coming in from all over the world that would come there and skate. And we had the best asphalt, the best hills. We had no cars to bother us. Like a real skate park.
Okay. So can we name some of these guys? I think it's important to know who they are.
Erskine.
Okay, all the Logans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the GNS riders, you know, from Pineapple, Steve Cathy, even Paul Hackett was there. Shanahan from Sims. Stevie Monahan from
Okay.
Sims was there.
Mhm.
All the Tom Sims. I mean, everybody was there. Bob Skolberg, Henry Hester, Schistler, Bobby Piercy, Conrad Miyoshi. This goes on and on and on. Everybody was a who.
Wow. Man, I'm sorry I missed that part.
It was
'Cause-
great to be there. I mean, not having a car, being dropped off there on the weekends, it was like all day there. Actually, that's what we did.
Well, there was a lot of guys. Like, was Steve Cathy in that? Because
Yeah.
that's where he got like his famous shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, right
From
there.
For All the Skateboard magazine.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I I remember seeing pictures, but I never ventured up there because you know I was always riding banks and that was my thing. Anyway, okay, and then you were also into like all the banks and stuff too. So that had to I'm kind of jumping ahead with like Carlsbad, okay, because that was our first skate park here in San Diego.
Correct.
And I remember going up there, and I think it was 75. It was before I was 16. So I remember
That's about
driving
the
up
time-
there.
Right, that's about the time. And did you ever skate Pipeline in La Jolla?
I never skated pipe. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's before, that's before Carlsbad. That was a beautiful place to skate.
Well, we also had that place Toenails that
Yeah.
was on the way. You remember that by
Yeah.
the gas station? That huge ditch that
Yeah.
I lost a lot of skin there.
Pipeline. I did
knees,
too.
knees,
Still got it right here.
elbows,
And I still got a
toes.
scar right here.
Because that's
right.
yeah, we were skating that shit barefoot like
That's
idiots, man. With
Yeah.
Terrible. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we got crushed there. I know I did. I remember one time I missed a session at the Carlsbad skate park
Yeah.
because my feet were bleeding so bad from skating Toenails before we got to the park, and I was crying.
Why did we skate barefoot? Tell me.
Why did we? Because I was an idiot and I wanted to be a surfer.
Well, everybody did.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was during the
Pipelines barefoot. That's
Yeah.
when I got, on my foot, I still have the skin scraped off. That's me back in 75.
Well,
That was a long time ago.
all right. So I'm just the truth is I'm trying to figure out when we first crossed paths, and I don't remember like seeing you at Carlsbad. I only got to skate there like 6 times, or maybe a few more times, maybe 10 total times. Because I just was 15 and was an hour away, so I always had to bum a ride somehow and get up there. But I do remember the first time I ever saw you was at Home Avenue.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Silver Fox.
Yeah, what's the Silver Fox?
That's the owner.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
That's what they call him, the Silver Fox.
Oh.
Silver hair. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You
I
know what?
somebody
Now
else that has silver hair right now. I'm kind of looking at 2 of them right now.
Hey, well.
Yeah.
I still have hair, bro.
True that. Okay. I'm just gonna stay stoked. That's all I'm gonna say. There you go, right there.
I don't do this because it's all gray. I got to keep a young appearance, man.
That's
Know.
right.
But anyway, yeah. So moving on, and I remember the crew that came there. That's when I know I met you, and Dennis or Steve Cathy was always there. And then you had like a crew of guys that used to show up in your little silver Honda or your little red Honda.
The silver one at that time.
Yeah, okay, the silver one.
Honda Cougar.
Okay, and I remember that. David Good, and I remember Frank, Frank Zappa, and Mikey Liris. I just remember you guys all pulling into the car and pulling into the park, and I would be sitting there looking at you guys, and of course I'm in all like rented like little knee pads and garden gloves and stuff, and you guys all came in all like skated out. I was like, wow. But I always try to keep up with little Mikey. That was my thing at that time.
Mikey was aggressive, good skater, good style.
Yeah, man, miss Mikey.
I wish we had another skate park like Moving On Skate Park.
Yeah.
Because just bold and the rounded edges and everything like that.
Yeah, man, that was a lot of fun, and maybe we'll find a picture and we'll put it up for everybody for Moving On Skate Park. I remember that was somewhere in there, but it was an amazing, fun little park. I mean, it was
snake runs.
Yeah, it was all snake runs, but they were like goofy snake runs.
Yeah.
They really made no.
It was a lot of wasted cement, but it was super fun for us.
Yeah. But I mean, to a point, because we all got to that point where it wasn't enough. Just carving back then wasn't enough. We wanted something ready to go.
We started jumping out of the bowls.
Yeah.
Jumping over like who could jump as many boards.
Boards height,
6,
stacked
7,
up.
8 boards stacked up, and then the little reservoir bowl had a kind of a not vert, but kind of a more. It got kind of close to vert, and then we put a wood extension on it.
Put that 4-foot wood extension on there. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we're just progressing.
Yeah.
We're getting wanting more and more.
But wasn't that funny though? How like that. I mean, it was like 4 feet, and it went to vert. It was like a shallow end almost. Yeah. And then we put another 4 feet of vert on top of it, and we were still doing wheelers.
Yeah.
in little bogus skateboard. Maybe we had road riders by that time. Yeah, maybe. I don't remember if I even had them yet. I think I was still riding like
Steel
Stokers or
wheels.
something. And
That's messed up.
hey man, I got the paper out that year,
That's right.
and then I could go out and buy the real stuff, and I finally did, man. Yeah, it's too funny, but yeah, man, we were at the parks. I saw you guys there every weekend. That was basically the only time I could get over there and skate was on weekends. But anyway, okay, so let's see. I'm trying to think of like other guys that might have been there, or maybe that was yeah. Okay, so we got a picture up right now of it, and
Who's
that
right there? Is that Mikey?
no, that guy's too tall, so I have no idea. But
We were hoping you knew.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
we just
I gotta put my glasses on.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what you got there.
I know.
Mine right here.
Yeah.
everybody. I'm still fighting it.
Are those 2.75s or are they like 325s now?
I have no idea. They can see far up and up close. That's all I know. Bifocal makes me think about the Coke bottle.
Yeah, but it was a bummer when that park closed down. I remember. But the good news is we had Spring Valley that popped up. That was the next park that came in, and that was great because that
What
was
about
only
El Cajon?
wow.
Never skated it?
I did.
Oh.
Absolutely, the worst park ever. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
but that reservoir at the end.
Yeah, the
was
reservoir
good.
was
And
like
that's, I mean, there, late night sessions.
Yeah.
With the Dogtowners
Yeah.
and Wally Inaway and everybody.
Okay.
Such a good time.
Okay, I gotta ask, Dennis. Okay, when did you become friends with the Dogtown guys? When? Because like I remember.
Well, we had Tony and Jay and whoever else was there at that time, but it was Tony at Soul Bowl. The
Okay,
swimming
yeah,
pool at
yep.
San Diego State.
Yep.
So I kind of ran into him there. Then I ran into him big time at El Cajon skate park.
Okay.
And I think that's where we got closer. Everybody said they're the radical. But at that time, this is our home turf. This is San Diego.
They didn't care.
Yeah. Kind of did. They didn't care, but neither did we at that time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you had Dope.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
That's how it all came about.
Dang it! I was never friends with him.
No, you weren't. Still to this day, still ain't.
I know.
That's Jim Muir. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Right. All right. You throw that one at me. Yeah. And thank you. Thank you for that ankle shot that he gave me on your name. It took me out of a contest. I was.
Well, you were the threat to them.
Oh, I was winning, man.
None
I
of
was
them
killing
could
it.
beat you.
They thought They thought that I was from Santa Barbara at my first pro contest, and yeah, they ankle shotted me and took me out of that contest quick, man. As soon as they found out I was your friend, and then it was so it had to be after that.
Okay, if you were my friend.
I tell you, and then after they took me out, then you had to become friends with those guys after that because otherwise they would have been cool with it. And who was it? Yeah, because that was
I mean,
I just got.
Literally, you just had to stand up to the guys.
Oh, yeah,
a lot
man.
of times there's some dog thing.
Oh,
bark,
yeah,
and that's all they do is bark.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was, Shogo Kubo was a guy that was also very aggressive. But
Are you feeding into my story right now or what, man?
I have my notes right here.
Oh, is that what it is? Man? You're cheating. Yeah, all
Did
right.
you read them?
Yeah,
Oh.
right. No, he's got this stuff
I
memorized.
have it on
No,
large print, just so you know on my phone.
because it was Shogo that sucker punched me at the drinking fountain at the
Sounds like
after I got whacked in the ankle. Okay, then I was like dying. Actually, it was Jimmy Plumer that dragged me out of the pool and threw me out. And then I went over to the drinking fountain. I was leaning over and drinking water. And I get a tap on my shoulder, and I look up like, yeah? And Shogo Kubo just smacked me, man. And then I got up, and I was ready to fight all of them. But I wanted Muir. That was the one, because he was the biggest.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I don't care what happens to me now, man. But we're going.
That's right.
And then David Moreland kicked us out. I mean, Dave Moreland came up to me and grabbed me after I'm surrounded by all of the Dogtown guys. And was like, what are you doing, Andrecht? And I'm like, nothing, I just fell. And I was only able to draw and do a carve, and I got 9th place at the contest. So I went from 1st to 9th. somebody knocked themselves out, but I don't remember who it was that also was in the top 10. So I got to beat him by just doing a carve on the face wall, and I came out. My ankle was just, I thought it was broken. But they were, they told me at the marina contest that everything was cool. And I earned their respect at that point, just because I didn't turn them in for,
And what place did you
doing
get
it.
at Marina?
I don't remember.
Third?
Yeah, it was like that. Yeah, third, first, whatever. But anyway, yeah, that was quite interesting. Okay, so anyway, so Spring Valley, man, you had a lot of history right there for you at that park.
That's was my growth of skating, and especially pool riding. The backyard pools and everything was great. They weren't as plentiful as Dogtown up in LA, but we did have a lot of backyard pools, and but when Spring Valley came along, and legitimately for a skate park, really, that was like a real swimming pool.
Did Steve Cathy have to?
Yeah.
Steve
Yeah,
had something to do
it
with
was a real-
building it and
was
stuff.
a real pool company
Right.
who built it.
Right.
It wasn't just cement with tiles and some coping. It was a real swimming pool. So I would like to say, first one ever, really, and legitimate skate bowl. So it was good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because
Had a
that-
big kink in it,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I remember.
but there was a lot of growth in that.
Yeah, that pool was. I have to say that whole skate park. For anybody that's out there watching and stuff, other than Cherry Hill and Apple, I know everybody talks about it, but those parks should be perfect because they were built longer. And Wally Holiday, I believe, was the one who made those things, and he had a lot of skate parks under his belt at that time.
Yeah.
But for Spring Valley, it only had, like, out of all the stuff you could ride there, the only thing that was kinked was the pool.
That's it.
Like the clover
Clover
was
pool was
perfect. The round top bowl was perfect. The edged pool was perfect. The snake run was the funnest snake run I ever skated.
Oververt
Ever.
snake
Yeah,
run.
oververt. Double. Two big oververts.
Yeah.
But there were so many other things in that thing that were just absolutely.
The reservoir was great.
Oh, the reservoir was super
and then
fast.
They brought in the full pipe. Remember
Yeah,
that?
the full pipe and
with
the big half pipe.
The big
Yeah.
half pipe connected to the full pipe. So,
Yeah.
there was a lot. There was a lot there for us to skate. And
Man,
there was a lot of growth there.
Such a proving ground, and
And it being the first Hester series, Hester 1, being right there in San Diego. So, yeah, picture right there. That's right. A lot of sponsorship there. That's where that was a transition really for me going from freestyle to vertical. Because back then I'd like to say that I was an all-around skater, and there wasn't that many all-around skaters back then. You were either a vert skater or a freestyle skater. But to do slalom, cross country, and the different types of slalom, tight slalom, giant slalom, and then do freestyle, and then also transition into vert and be good at all those. There wasn't too many of us back then.
No, there really wasn't. The only ones that that even made the effort or the attempt, of course, was Steve Cathy and Doug Saldino Pine.
I would say Tony Alva was an all-around skater.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, he was competing in freestyle. I love the way Tony skated in freestyle. Plus, he won slalom too, and he was a good downhill racer. And so Tony was definitely an all-around skater. And I give tilt my hat off to him.
Well, he is the first guy to go in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
So well deserved.
Yeah.
And I agree, man. I mean, he was the thing I remember most about TA. This is really a bad thing to say, but it's not. Like his skating was his skating. Okay, like he dominated everything, but that guy was the best marketing guy out there.
100%.
The best, man. Like if I would have marketed myself half as good as that guy did, I who knows where I could have been.
Look at how look at the design of his logo.
Yeah.
It was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Look at the ads that he made.
His ads were phenomenal. I don't know if that was that TA doing it? Was that Stesic doing it? Was he Stesic had something to do with it?
The other guy that
He did it with TA.
Yeah, with TA.
He was right there with
A lot of creative behind it, but look at his logo. His logo back then is still today.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so he was a brand maker, and and he broke off by himself, and I tilt my hat off to him on that also. And a few other skaters did it, and then finally the skaters started to become skater-owned companies.
Yeah.
And that's
he's still doing it.
Yeah, and skateboarding. That's when skateboarding really grew, because people that weren't skateboarders and didn't, they had the money, but they didn't put the money really back into skateboarding. They made the money, then they took it, and then when the sport began to die just a little bit, they got cold feet and they stripped all the money out. And that's why skateboarding was going through these cycles like that until we got smart and we became skater-owned companies.
Yeah.
And that's when skateboarding boomed and has stayed.
Yeah, we don't, I mean, you know, nowadays there's just so many skate companies out there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of them are dropping out just because of all the problems we're having with the supply chain and wood and trying to get products. I know you had a hard time getting product for a while for all your stuff, and as everybody else has. So
When I went to the skate,
Anyway.
when I went to the, you know, the, not the skate fairs, what were they called? The,
which time?
the, when they go and show all the new products and everything.
Trade shows.
Trade show.
Yeah, yeah.
You go to the straight, and that was another thing. I mean, we're the beginners, the pioneers of the trade shows.
Yeah.
All of us, all the new skaters that are out there right now, you need to hear this, that, you know, the trade shows were the ones where we went. And then after many years of being gone, coming to the trade shows, like you said, there's so many skate companies. I'm going to myself, who's this? Don't even know. who
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is. You know, and where are they today?
Yeah.
You know, they made their money, and now they bounced and went into something else.
Yeah. Because they just couldn't keep up. It's just passionate. It's just a passion.
Yeah.
You gotta be in it, you know. But anyway, so freestyle. Now we're in vert, and
Wait,
you come
we
into
got to 77.
what's that?
We gotta go back. We haven't even started. You jumped ahead.
No. Okay, so, okay, so for the
It's a
vert.
perfect segue to again, like you said, trade shows. Now you're a pro, being a pro. You were there. Both of you were there at the beginning of being a pro.
Yep.
Yeah, we were. I mean, as far as freestyle and everything, I think that's as far that I could take it. So it was time to turn pro. You know, my first team was Team Bain. You know, which, you know, if you look at the history of skateboarding and the history of Skateboarder magazine, if you look at who named Dogtown, you know, there's a lot of history behind Team Bain. You know, and my coach.
Well, wait a minute. So who did? Who do you say named it? Because we all have somebody different.
Well, I don't know if it's the Z Boys or if you. I think was Bill Bain.
That named Dogtown?
Or the Z Boy
Or-
Riders or something like that. One of the two. It was at the Hall of Fame. It was announced. So.
Okay, the only one I know of that I talked to was how that game came to a part was Wes Humpston was out talking to what's his face from Zepper that owned Zepper, Jeff Ho,
Probably.
and they were sitting out in front, and there's a bunch of just rowdy dogs
Well, if
running
you go-
around,
If you go back
and that's how it came up. That's what I was told.
You go back and look at the Hall of Fame when Bain was, you know, inducted as the icon.
Yeah.
And all our teammates were up there. There was a little nugget before, you know, Bill Bain and Bob Bain went up to accept their awards. They announced like they were the ones who named Dogtown or the Z Boys or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to misquote because you know how
Yeah.
they get.
Yeah, I know.
They get real touchy
Well, I
and
know.
anal about it. And, you know, I'm not all about that sissy stuff, but you know, for real. But yeah, so that taking place. So Bill Bain, you know, and them, they were pioneers of the sport. I mean, they didn't want to progress when skateboarding became laminates.
Yeah.
They didn't
Right.
want to progress in a lot of things, so their equipment became
Obsolete.
Yeah. And they had so much stuff left over in the warehouse, and I think that was the era that Bain was going to kind of bounce out of there. But we had great guys. I wanted to say, you know, I had Dennis Schufeld, who's on the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Right now, and then Bob Moore, world champion Bob Moore, Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Ellen Berryman. I mean, the list goes on. You know, we had a lot of guys on my team became Hall of Famers.
Yeah. And okay, and that was through Bain. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought you were a GNS guy the whole time. So when did you make the switch over to GNS?
Pretty soon, I think after 1975, I came back from Vegas with Team Bain, and you know we had skated the Dunes. I think it was the Dunes hotel was getting ready to be demoed,
Yeah.
and they had the swimming pool, so it was super great. We were skating there. I mean, I was up there on tiles in 1975 with no kicktail and the little 24-inch Bain board.
Yeah,
I mean,
wow.
you know, it's crazy about that. But then after that, you know, just hanging out with Doug. You know, Doug made the jump over from Bain
Right.
to GNS. and I
Oh,
think
he did too.
Yeah, he did first before me.
Oh,
So then that
wow.
was easy for me to make that transition over there with him and Steve Cathy.
Steve was there too?
Steve Caffey was not with Bain,
Oh.
but Steve was already on GNS,
Oh,
and he was
okay.
already recruiting.
Oh, okay.
Ellen O'Neill and all them were recruiting. You know, it was just easy for me to transition over there because I knew that Bain wasn't going to go any further.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Who on the team didn't want me on GNS? Okay, you don't have to answer that, I know.
I can't remember. I'm brain dead
Because
right
I
now.
don't. Good answer. Because
I have ADD. I forgot already.
It's been over 40 years, so you're safe
You
there.
always ask me that.
No,
It wasn't my fault. You look at me like it was my fault. I always wanted the best skaters on my team. I take you, Brad Bowman,
I remember just
Dave Hackett, Paul Hackett.
I remember, it was actually a Spring Valley contest, and like I was skating around, and I was actually on a Stacey Peralta Warp 2 board. I went out and bought it, and I was skating the pool after everybody left, okay, and I was skating the pool, and I saw Doug Schneider in the contest do a roll, and I was like, oh my gosh, so it's possible, because I could roll in anywhere else in that place, but I never tried the pool.
So would
because
you
I was
say
always scared.
Doug Schneider was the first one that we saw do the roll-in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all you skaters out there, that one skater, you know who you are. If you listen to this podcast,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah,
Doug
man.
Schneider.
I mean, I'd have to say it was Schneider. He's the first guy I saw, man. He rolled in, and so I was just like, and everybody left after the contest. There was hay, all the hay bales,
Yeah.
and all the hay was in the pool. I didn't care. And I remember just dropping in, and I saw that, and I was like, God, I got to try it. So I went over there, and the first time I went in, bailed. Second time I went in there, I bailed. Third time I made it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then after that, it was just on. I could, then I knew it was possible. So that's what's so funny, is because I know most kids roll in the day, they don't even think twice about it because they've seen it happen so many times.
Yeah.
But when you never saw somebody do something, you didn't know it was possible.
Absolutely.
You thought you'd hang up, or it was instant death type of thing.
Yeah.
And but I remember doing that, and that's when I got put on Sims, because Kurt Putman was there with Craig Feynman, and they just happened to come over to the pool, and they started watching me skate, and that's when I got put on.
That's right.
So anyway, but it was kind of interesting. Okay, so the contest itself, okay, the first tester. Well, wait a minute. Let's go back to some of the other freestyle stuff. You won. You became a national champion in freestyle in '77.
Yes, in Ocean City, Maryland.
Oh, it was Ocean City.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was Long Beach or
No.
okay, or here in Del Mar, down there. Okay.
No, Oceanside. It wasn't.
Wow, it was in where? Oh, it was in Ocean City, Maryland.
August 5th.
Wow.
And I think it was ABC Wide World of Sports was there.
Okay.
And they did their little thing. I was trying to find the footage right now is real hard. I found some of it and saved it, and I transferred from VHS over to DVD. Now I changed it again before
before that's gone. Before that's gone.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So we went into there. Okay, I have my notes. It was a Long Beach, and that's why I was wondering.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of
footage.
You have a little
Oh,
bit of.
well,
let's
let's check the footage out on it. So, and this is in Ocean City right here, or this is Long Beach. Okay, this was Long Beach. Okay. 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 So who else was in this contest? Like, oh, did Chapman win it? Who won it? Do you remember? Yeah.
I think Chris Chapman.
Did he? Yeah. Yeah. I remember. runs back then? Like 2 minutes, weren't they? Oh, a minute? That was it? Really? That's a long
The
time,
arena
though.
was back. Same in Ocean City, Maryland. It was back. Like I was telling you the other day, my manager was Bill Reardon. You know, it was
Yeah.
Bill Reardon that called me up and said, "Hey, I want you to skate against my champion skater." Now, who's that? He said, "Chris Chapman." And I was still amateur at the time. And I go, "You want me to skate against the best skater in the world?" I was like, I got all scared, you know. And then it was like after I hung up and told him no, I called him back a couple days later and I said, "Yeah, I'll take the challenge." You know,
Yeah.
it was that's really when a lot of things started to boom. I mean, my manager was Bill Reardon, and he managed Jimmy Connors, the tennis great, Farrah Fawcett. You know, I got to meet them, and you know, we would fly into Vegas, and he would start calling my name like they do for movie stars and stuff like that. He knew how to be a manager. He was a big time manager, so it felt good to have, you know, him. He was from Florida, and he flew me out to New York. We did a lot of private shows, and you know, Ellen O'Neill was part of that. Bobby Boyden, Bobby Casper Boyden. I mean, we had some good guys on.
Hey man, there was I mean that was a heavy team for freestyle. I know
Yeah.
I was in one freestyle contest in my whole life. I got a third place, and I worked so hard trying to do stuff, man. I had no idea other than just watching what people were doing at Spring Valley, because you guys used to always, like, a lot of people used to practice on the top part, like right by the pool, and I would always look back and look over my shoulder and, you know, see what was who was doing what, and then I'd just keep going, dropping in and coming back out. But I remember even like little Mark Schmidt was always
great.
practicing up there.
Always.
And you know, Steve always did it. He was a resident pro there at that time. Yeah,
Hey, I'm going to say this about Team Bain. To be on Team Bain, we had Sunday practices, and you had to make the practice to be on the team. I mean, they taught us a lot of things. We took ballet so that it would help us with our 360s, you know, to be able to spot so that we didn't get dizzy. We learned gymnastic moves there, and we put routines together. I mean, I had world champion Ellen Berryman. I had world champion Bob Moore. I mean, we had great leaders there to help us develop, you know, our freestyle skills. So to go on from there, you know, Paul St. Pierre, probably one of the best guys out there who found me. Actually, I found him coming home from school. I saw this guy doing a handstand, and then from that day on, I bugged him, showed up at his doorstep, and he told me, get out of here, kid, get out of here. And I just kept pestering him. And finally, he gave me a shot. He saw me. He says, "Go learn this trick." It was a headstand. To go learn this trick and then come back and talk to me. I went home and I practiced, fell, got scabs, fell backwards, conked my head, but I learned that headstand. And I came back, and next thing you know, I'm on Team Bain.
wow. Okay, so you know, Dennis, I didn't know it, but this thing about you, but you found a lot of top skaters today that you were handing out boards to. Last week I found out Tony Mag. You hooked him up with the first free board that he ever got. So who's the list? Who's on that list?
Well, I think
You know.
Billy Ruff said I was also.
Yeah, I think Billy said that too.
And I found Danny
First-
Way.
Oh, that's right. I
You
heard
guys
that
out there,
too.
I found Danny Way.
Yeah.
We were at a Hamels skate demo, and had my team Flying Aces, and Jimmy Acosta, Mike Garcia. We had Harry Jumanji, Keith Martinez. We had a good small team right there, and here comes this little kid, bratty little kid, saying I'm better than all your skaters, and I told him, "Go away, kid, you know, go away." And finally, he bugged me the same, and it just made me think about Paul St. Pierre, how much I bugged him. He finally gave me a chance, and I let Danny go up and do one trick, and after he did that trick, our whole team said, "Dude, you better pull him in." So I pulled him in. And I remember us taking our first road trip to Arizona, and he was just a little kid. He busted his teeth in front of my house before we took off. Yeah. And we got there, and then his career took off from there. You know, Soy picked him up, and then from there, he went on to other teams. Mark Rogowski. So you guys might not want to hear his name, but Gator.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody could beat him at one time. You know what I mean? He was one of the best.
Yeah. No, I remember the first time I met Gator was at the Escondido Skate Park, Whirling Wheels, I think it was called. And I remember I had been just turned pro myself, and that park was unique. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
That pool was super tight, I remember. And Rogowski was just blowing everyone away there.
Yeah.
And I remember before I even dropped in, I was like, I never saw him before. I was like, who is this kid?
Yeah.
He's destroying it.
Yeah.
And actually, I was almost a little bit intimidated. I remember I was like, oh my gosh, man, I better put on the A game right now. I'm a pro, you know. I gotta show this kid who no idea who he is, but he did everything, man. But I didn't pick him up. I found some other people out there, but he wasn't one of them for me, like. Anyway, yeah, Mark, yeah, unfortunate all the way around.
Yes.
So anyway, all right. So was that Danny Way's a big find, no question about it. But I remember he went from there, and you said he went to what other company after you? Hosoi, and then he went to Vision, and then he went to H Street, and that's when I remember. Oh no, Powell was in there too.
Yes.
After Vision, then it was Powell, then it was H Street. And the reason he left Powell was because I remember they wouldn't fly him to a contest in Texas.
And I think that's where the growth of him came from, was being on H Street.
Yeah, well, a lot of it. He was already killing it at that time, and we'd talked to him, I know, but we just was like, yeah, he's on Powell, he ain't going to leave there. And then Powell wouldn't fly him to the Texas contest, and then he called us up and said, if you fly me to Texas, I'll skate for H Street. And we were like, all look at each other like, okay. We'll fly you to Texas, and then he wrote that.
The person that found talent too was Stacey Peralta.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. I respect him so much, and he didn't go to the direction that Alva and me and a lot of the other guys did. The drug scene.
Yeah.
Could he two-shoot Stacey Peralta? But he was smart. Back in the day we gave him a lot of crap, but today you look back, I give him so much respect because he was smart.
Yeah.
And he took the sport that we love, and he took it into business, and took it to the next level.
Okay. Well, I got to ask, so what kind of a contract did you guys have at GNS back in the day? Huh?
Okay, I made 25 cents a board.
Get out of here.
That was back then top.
And what did you, and at a quarter a board, did you get wheel money? Did you get...
Wheel money?
Okay, so you got money for paying for wheels, so what'd you get off of that?
I can't remember, probably $1,000 a month. And
okay.
Then we got paid for riding going trucks. I rode the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Nobody else wanted to ride Phoenix trucks, but I love them. Look how many trucks are made kind of like the Phoenix shape today.
Oh, I know. A lot of them, yeah.
So the concept behind that was good. And I rode my trucks where they almost fell off. They were so loose.
Yeah. I always, being that I was on Sims and all, I could never figure out how you guys were all driving brand new cars, and well, I know I wasn't getting paid for. I never got paid.
No, he sold more boards than anybody I know. He still haven't got a check.
Yeah, I still haven't got a check.
So
I think
you know who I'm talking to out there. You guys who made his boards, you owe him a check.
Not the guys who made the boards. So those guys just did their jobs.
Not stopped. You know what I mean? I'm going to speak up. I've always been known for that. I'll speak up.
No, I'm just saying though, it had
were
nothing to
always
do
quiet.
that. Yeah, I know.
You let people run all over you, but you let your skating do the talking.
Yeah.
So now I could be a voice for you.
Well,
you guys owe him a check.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, those people are no longer around. So, anyway, well, one of them still was around. Who sold my board for 2 years after I retired, but I didn't even retire. They retired me. I was trying to get boards to go skate, and they wouldn't do it. I had to go buy boards, and it wasn't until I just gave up. I was like, man, if they're not gonna, at least they won't even take my call. Yeah. I was still sixth in the world at that time, and still ready and trying to go skate and stuff. And it was just like,
that's the thing about our sport. Be at the top at one point, and then the next day, somebody new comes in.
Yeah. No question about it.
At least it was for me, seeing Tony Hawk and Gator and Hosoi and all them, they were the new breed. I already knew that was my time to just kind of like bow out gracefully, because there's absolutely what they were doing in skateboarding, taking it to the next level. You at least were able to stay in the mix of all
for about another year and a half.
Yeah.
I stayed in there competitively.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, after that, it was pretty crazy. Well, you did a lot of commercials as well.
Not a lot, but
yeah, I think you did quite a few commercials compared to
Pepsi.
And
7-Up were long-running commercials.
Right.
Long.
Yeah.
So the checks were long running and coming in. Like big checks.
Right. Well, I mean, if you have a manager, I guess now that I look back, I should have gotten a manager, because
Some
I
of
had,
my- some of my checks were 100 and some thousand.
hey, some of my checks were like 1,000, and that's only when I won a contest.
You were talking to me about my board model with GNS, and you
Yeah.
know that old saying, nickels and dimes
Yeah.
add up.
Yeah.
Well, those quarters did add up.
Yeah, man, I
You know?
know. Well, that's why I said, man. I remember you coming in the one car, and then you got on GNS. You came in the little red Honda, then you had that for, I don't know, a few years, and then you went and got a new red Honda, and I was just like, the whole time driving a Bug, and I was putting a new engine and changing oil, and it was just a nightmare. But you know, it served its purpose. But it was like, you know, like Steve Cathy had that, you know, red and yellow truck, and that was like, I was always like, wow, you know. It was, and then of course Pineapple. What the heck, man? He had that lowrider, and it was just,
Yeah.
I mean, that he had so much money into that thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it was beautiful. I remember thinking about it, like whatever, whatever. I don't know what he ever did with that. He had to have sold it, I assume.
No, I think
so.
he still has it.
Does he
I
really?
think he still has it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that thing was incredible.
Yes.
You know, I think it was a '62 or '63 Impala, 2-door, and man, that I think the paint job was like $2,000 or more.
That's
I
a
mean,
big, like,
That's huge
nowadays
back then.
it's like
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, I
But
know.
back
Like back
then, it was
then,
like, wow.
that was huge.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that thing was totally crazy. So let's get, like, we're back at, I'm going back to Spring Valley again, okay?
Okay.
And because you had the contest, we had the contest there, and from the contest, after the contest, you got your first cover at, that was your first cover at Spring Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's coming up on the screen
Jim
here.
Goodrich.
Yeah,
And it's one of the most iconic covers in Skateboarder magazines. That's what they say.
yeah.
So
So anyway, not gonna do that again. I got myself. Well, I'm looking for the picture that comes up from the cover, and then we had we went to Upland. Okay, we got okay. So this is one of the backside edgers. That was like the really cool. I don't know if you can see that or not.
the other one right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was always like you know. I remember doing edgers. I remember doing a contest.
Had to be on the edge.
Yeah, always.
A
but-
wheeler was nothing.
Yeah. Almost like Spring Valley. There was a lot of vert on that wall right there. I remember, but that was the good wall. That was the one good wall. Yeah, and then we went from there. It was like Upland.
Doug Marker.
Yeah,
Who
but-
was he? Nobody knew who he was.
Yeah, man. But even Doug had more tricks than a lot of people back then. Like he
Absolutely.
was
Lane
definitely, yeah, lumpy.
Same thing.
Lumpy.
Yeah,
Sorry, Lane. Sorry, that just
That's all right, he
naturally came out.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and then Frank Zappa, of course,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, a lot of great skaters. Bucky
Whoop.
Robinson, David Robinson.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of good skaters there.
those guys came out. There was, you know, Tussle, Tossie, Stelmasky brothers.
All of them.
Like all those guys came out of there. And but I know I'm missing like 10 more people. There was, I can't remember.
We're gonna talk about the contest.
Well, I
we
mean, no,
talk about
I
the
think
contest?
go ahead, man. Let's roll with
Yeah,
the contest.
well,
I was just a grum watching.
You
You know,
after that contest, I was riding high on placement until I got, you know, knocked out in concussion.
Yeah, I remember.
There's some pictures that Ed Economy has of me, and you could see they had covered my eyes. They were swollen because of how hard I hit my head. And they took me there, and I got a concussion. They wouldn't let me come back and skate. But you know, I definitely know the way that I skated, the way I had that pull down, that I wanted a rematch with Steve Alba, who won. And Steve, I know if you're listening and you hear this, I know not too long ago you were on a podcast too, and you were talking about, you know, yeah, Dennis wanted to skate against me. I guarantee I would have beat you. I guarantee I would have beat you. But that's past tense. You know, you're a great skater. You went on to be a great skater. I respect you, and you know you're still skating and ripping, and I tilt my head off to you. But I definitely would have beat you.
And I would have beat you.
Yeah,
No, just kidding.
that's right. Would you?
No, you know what? Marker. I think I would have put money on Marker back then too. Marker was ripping hard.
Pineapple
Hey,
was
you know,
ripping.
yeah, Doug too. He had that bull wired,
We
and
did
it was a home. The thing about it is
yeah, home turf.
it was home turf, and you know that kink on that one right wall. It took time to get used to. I saw a lot of guys slamming into that thing because
How
they
about
weren't ready
Steve
for it.
Olson and who was it? Steve Olson and who else? Dunlop on the doubles.
Yeah.
And then the longest carve. I mean, that Art Dickey did great, but he got beat out by Kirk Talbot.
Oh, was it Cal? Oh yeah.
Kirk Talbot. What a long,
Kirk Talbot.
long carve grind that Kirk
Yeah.
Talbot did. That was great.
Man, I haven't heard his name for a long time.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
find him, like to say hi to him, you know, but don't know where he's at.
Yeah,
Okay, now we can
that's
move
like
on.
that was like all the Badland guys.
Yeah.
That was like because that was another thing too. Is like that was the first time I ever heard about it.
Look at
You know what I mean?
Look
Like-
who else
like-
was in there. Harvey Hawks. Look,
Yeah,
go look
yeah,
at it in the top
yeah, I
10.
remember, I
Harvey
remember,
Hawks was
I
in the
remember.
top 10.
I remember.
You know,
Yeah, Harvey
What a
was
great
on that
skater,
thing,
too.
but no, man, Tay Hunt. There was
Tay-
another one that was,
Incredible.
like all those guys. But
Tay
like,
Hunt's birthday was yesterday.
yeah,
happy birthday, Tay.
I just remember that. We had it was like downtown because the Dogtown guys came
Down
in
south,
down
and then you had the
south, and-
Badlanders.
yeah, you had
And
the
then you had
Badlanders.
NorCal. You had all those guys up there too.
Yeah,
Blackheart.
all those guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
Blackheart,
Oh, boy.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was weird because those guys didn't have a magazine back then in the beginning.
They did.
And no,
They didn't have
they
a magazine.
didn't.
We
They
did.
didn't. Everything was in San Diego, based
Wally
there.
Inouye, Stropel, all
Yeah.
of us there. You know.
Yeah, I think those guys actually moved down from there just to hang out with the
Yeah.
photo editor.
Yeah.
And
Warren Bolzer was down here.
those guys got a lot of covers, man, and a lot of centerfolds.
Yeah, I was wondering how they were getting all those things. It's time to
they
share
yeah,
the wealth here. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Hey, well, I can say after years, I never got one. So, laying down, I can't see.
I think it's Steve Schistler.
Oh,
No,
is it-
Steve Schistler took that picture of the photographer laying down. I don't know who that is. Again, it's too far from me right now.
Yeah, I just no. Even with the lights on, I can't see it. But yeah, I
one
can't
of my,
remember.
That's one of my most favorite freestyle pictures, right there.
Yeah.
Definitely poetry in motion.
Oh, that was an Oasis.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Tim
down-
B. Maybe it was Tim B. right there. I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like it might have been Tim B.
It's an interesting photo because it almost looks like you're ready to go.
Well, that's ready. I was ready to go into do nose 360.
Yeah.
Afro right there. Paul Hoffman was my favorite 2-foot nose.
Oh
1
yeah,
foot nose
yeah, yeah.
360,
Oh yeah, Hoffman was amazing
yeah.
at that for sure.
When he came and did all those, I went, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to learn how to do those."
We did
Started
that.
doing 25 of them. 25 nose 360, 2-foot nose 360s,
Yeah.
1 foot.
Was that
35
you mean
of
a
those.
Daffy?
Yeah. No, I never did a Daffy.
Yeah, you did.
Never did.
Yeah,
Daffy.
you
never
did.
No, that was Steve's
They,
trick.
they called you Daffy King or
No,
something.
That wasn't me. That was Steve Cathy. Was Daffy King. Yeah, I never done a Daffy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we rolled out. We got it. I still say you did a Daffy. I was never good enough to do Daffies.
You'll never see
so-
a photo of me doing a Daffy because I never do.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start hunting now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, after that, then we Upland. That was another one.
That was an eye opener for me. Upland.
The first. Were you in the first Hester Series one? of
Yes.
that? Okay.
So when I went to Upland, I was like, "This is stopping terrain." You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man.
So I could
a lot
see
bigger
how-
than everybody else
Yeah,
ever
so I
expected.
could see how Salba
Yeah.
and Tehan and all those guys.
Scott Dunlap,
Yeah. What's his name? Kevin Anderson.
Kevin Hand, the Worm.
All of the
Yeah,
Worm.
all
I
those
love the
guys.
Worm.
Yeah.
All those guys. That was their type of terrain, the
Yeah.
monster terrain.
Yeah.
That wasn't ever me. I mean, I remember going down the 15-foot bowl and my heart's going like this. It's like, I still feel that way when I go to big pool. The deep end and stuff. But yeah, that was the fun. After that, it was just okay. Big O.
Yeah.
We went on to Big O, Marina Del Rey, Winchester.
Marina
Mil-
was a special place,
Yeah.
man. no question.
Yeah.
And Winchester.
Yeah.
Winchester's
Winchester's probably my most favorite pull because it was perfect.
yeah.
You know, the cement was great. The coping was thick.
Fast.
Yes, very fast.
Fast coping.
Yeah, and that's when we saw a lot of the other skaters up there. What was it?
Like that one guy. What's his name? The little guy.
Kevin Hout or
No, Kevin Reed.
Kevin Reed.
Kevin Reed at Hout.
Radical,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Kevin
What
was.
a Rubberman Reed.
Yeah. Kevin and yeah, they had the.
Blackheart killed it.
Yeah, Blackheart.
Rod Saunders.
Rod's was he from up there?
Yeah, Greg
Was he?
Weaver. Up there, yeah.
Scott Foss.
Scott Boss.
Scotty, yeah,
Yeah.
Cab.
They were the
of course.
new crew.
Yeah,
coming up.
Cab and Frost came on
Yeah.
the scene and they turned pro or they were amateurs and they just wanted to skate in a pro contest to see how they could do.
And
And they got third and fourth, respectively.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, who are these little kids?
Caballero was about this big.
I know.
He got-
You know, that was the first time I met Cab.
oh boy.
And I remember that's when I quit Sims. I don't know if I quit Sims or I got kicked off of Sims or whatever, but I remember Mike Williams drove me up there in the glowing van, and we got there, and then I put my stuff, because I was supposed to stay with all the Sims guys, put my stuff in the van, and then Feynman and somebody threw all my stuff out of the team van and drove away and laughing and honking and, you know, and I was just like, I'm supposed to be staying with you guys. Where were you leaving me? And I was stuck at the park and I was ready to sleep in the bowl that night. And then Stevie came in and goes, hey, I have a friend. If you want to stay at their place, it's okay to stay there. I was like, really? Hell, I'll stay anywhere. That turned out to be awesome because these people lived in, like, I don't know, close, about 20 minutes away. They had beautiful home, jacuzzi. You know, it was just like, man, I was living large. So it actually worked out, but that's when I quit. And if you look at footage, I hate to say this, but Marina Del Rey contest, I actually skated a Kryptonics board that Dave Moreland, because Dave Moreland flew me home, paid for my flight home. So I was like, sure, I'll ride the crypto board in the next contest. And at that time, I wasn't riding for anybody. And that's when I was asking about Gordon Smith, because, you know, they offered me less money than I was making on Sims. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
For me, the biggest
you know.
target for me at Dog Bowl Marina Del Rey was Tony Alva. I knew he was going to skate in there. Everybody else, you know, was just I just wanted to compete against Tony on that level. You know, love TA, love his style and stuff, and there's some home field advantages there and stuff. But you know
what? He was in the carve contest, like, and I can't remember what place he got. I would have to look that one up. So, yeah, I don't remember, but I remember he went a long ways.
remember George Orton frontside air contest at Marina Del Rey.
Yeah, I remember he did about 2.5 feet. Oh yeah, George always hung up.
Well, that's what skate. Who was the other one? Rob Scott.
Oh,
George was the frontside broke up and Rob Scott.
oh really?
Rob Scott.
Really? I don't even remember it either. That's weird. I never did. I have no excuses for it. Oh yeah, this is oh yeah. Yeah, the stroke. He was doing it. Gordon. Yeah, there's a frontside air. There's a good one right there. Bird, man. Bird scared it. Everything. It was him and Paul, the two guys who were up there that I always had, you know, I mean, I'm not going to take away from Tony and Jay, because that just goes without saying as far as that goes, but, you know, they were tricks. He had a lot of tricks and ripped. Like, he just didn't show up to many contests that I remember, but, you know, he was always there and always skating fast. You know, that had his one that like amazing style. So, at Del Mar? Or that's why I like that stuff. I never see my own footage. So anyway, and all that footage was just terrible. It was an axle stall, an axle stall, and an axle stall, and it's like, okay, yeah. I guess I did a lot of axle stalls.
Mike Weed won that one, and then Stacey Peralta got second. I got third.
Ah, yeah, because Stacey, man, you just don't want to mess with Stacey, and
His slides.
yeah,
Yep.
he was the slide
He did
master.
real good.
Yeah, man. Every time he didn't enter a lot of contests, but like Lakewood half pipe, I know he ripped it there,
Yeah.
but that's just because that's the slide zone,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Every he had every slide trick there was, man. I don't care if it was a 540, start with a 360, and then it was a 540, it was a 720, and everything else. So anyway, yeah, that was a pretty amazing time.
YouTube and Twitch.
So anyway, yeah. So what other people do you ever? I mean, do you have people you want to shout out to?
I do. I wrote him down here. Danny Way, again, you know.
I think Danny's in Hawaii, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure right now.
Danny Way, the Evil Knievel of skateboarding. You know, he's really taken skateboarding and advanced skateboarding, the mega ramp. You know, and Rodney Mullen. You know, when I saw young Rodney Mullen, I knew, like as in Vert, when you see, you know, Caballero, Hassoy, Hawk, all those guys coming up, you know, my time was passing. It was their time to come in, and young Rodney Mullen, and seeing him, you know, he's still my favorite freestyle skater today. And Andy Anderson, I love Andy Anderson. He can skate vert and he can skate freestyle, so he's probably my most favorite skater right now because he can skate vert and freestyle. Incredible.
Wait, who's that?
Andy Anderson.
Andy Anderson, huh?
Yeah, incredible. And then, of course, I have a lot of history with J-Boy. And then I have a lot of history with Tony Mag. A big shout out to Tony Mag, who deserves, if you're listening to this, Tony Mag deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And so all those people that work with the Hall of Fame, he needs to be in the Hall of Fame, and I want to push for him to be in the Hall of Fame. And then I want to give a shout out to Town and Country. You know, I mean, they're still my sponsor, have been since the 70s. They've taken good care of me. I love their products. I love their family ran, and you know, they really took care of me, and they still do to this day. And you know, have great skaters there. Red Ant, you know, love Red Ant, and he's a great skater. And look at Roy Jamison. That's another person I'd like to see inducted into the Skateboard Hall of Fame. You know, he was a TNC rider coming from Hawaii. I think it's overdue for a Hawaiian skater to get in to the Skateboard Hall of Fame. Mark Lake, East Coast skater who's still ripping to this day. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
He's only what, 64 now?
Yeah, whatever. So if you're listening, Mark, man, I love you. You're a ripper, and you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And Lane Oaks, Doug Marker. I mean, I'm just gonna.
I agree, man. I agree 100%.
You know,
Yeah.
And then I have a friend. I'm not saying he's Hall of Fame or whatever, but Bobby Garcia. He never gets any recognition. Bobby, you know, you drove us around when none of us had a license, and you didn't have a license either. Your dad just let you drive the Mustang and drove us everywhere. But you know, yeah, those are my guys right there that I just want to throw some shout outs.
Bobby could do it because he was 6 foot tall when he was like 13 years old, I think.
Yeah,
I know when I saw him, I thought he was 20 years old, and he wasn't. He was 2 years younger than me at that time.
Yeah.
But that happened a lot. Okay. And anyway, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those guys I was lucky enough to skate with. I even got to skate with Lake down in Florida when I went on tour one of the times, and you know, Mark definitely deserves to be in there, no question. I know he's in the Florida Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But he should be in the Skateboard Hall of Fame for sure. And you know, patience is the key.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I was nominated 7 times. It took me 7 tries. All right.
Yeah, you know what? I think I was the only guy that was on that thing like 2 times, and my name got pulled off 2 times. So I saw it on there, and then before it happened, it was pulled back off. I was like, oh, I'm back off the thing. I'm not even on the list this year. But that's okay. Whatever. I know those guys are doing their best, and I know there's a lot of politics involved in the whole thing. So anyway,
no. For reals?
Oh yeah, there's a little bit. There was a little bit of a boys' club going on there for sure.
Yeah.
You know, but it's working its way out. And you know what, man? Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks certain people should be in and out, and
Sure.
they're just trying to do it.
Yeah.
You know, in a timely way to do it.
I know we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame later.
Yeah,
in this,
for a minute.
in this podcast, but you know, right now,
Yeah. Well, when you mentioned a lot of those names and stuff, you know, I will definitely go along with the fact that, you know, Mark definitely deserves it. So, but okay. So I think I kind of want to run into something here. And you do a lot of community work now, but you did a video, which was dope,
Yes.
which is what does it stand for?
Death or prison eventually.
Right.
And so when Chris Aaron's the writer, and he wrote and directed it, he kind of wanted to come up with the names, skateboarder from hell and stuff like that. And I didn't want to name it that. I wanted to name it what it was, and it was Jay Adams,
Right.
dope destroyed his life. Bruce Logan, dope destroyed his life, and Christian Asoy, dope destroyed his life. And when I was in a prison in Oregon, I went to a guy and he says, I want you to tell me something that I don't know. And he says, well, I want to tell you what dope stands for, death or prison eventually. And I said, that's it. I've taken that and I've ran with it. And so I said, that's what I want the name of the movie to be. I don't want it to be, about skateboarding and all that, because the market was real low. I wanted to go after people that struggled with addiction and people that are out there struggling with addiction. And I think the movie hits on a lot of hard spots on that. It shows other parts that were never really spoken hard about, with Jay Adams and Christian Asoy. Bruce Logan, you'll see where Bruce used to live in a tent down there in Oceanside. So it really touches places where a lot of people don't want to go there, because it might make them look bad. But I didn't care, because my testimony is going to unlock somebody's future, and somebody that might be stuck, and they might hear the story of dope, death, or prison eventually, and their life will be changed. And I've gotten thousands of people who have written me, thousands of people who have contacted me and said, your movie changed my life. I got saved because of your movie. And, that's what the movie was made for. And to have Danny Trejo do the narration on that, that's incredible. To have Big D, one of the founding members of the Mexican Mafia, I became real friends with him, met him inside the prison and doing prison ministry together with him. And so that movie was a true story, not based on a true story. Because most stories, if it says it's a true story or based on a true story, about 20% of the movie's true and the rest is fabricated. I had the guy who got me started on the needle in there. I had the 2 detectives that arrested my crew, and they're still my friends today. So I had all original stuff, and I wanted to keep it as real as possible.
Well, I just watched it again a couple nights ago, and it was amazing. I completely forgot. I mean, I know all of Jay's issues and stuff, and of course, I was able to see a lot of your issues, and then I remember one time when I was working at H Street. I didn't know that you were having all your problems at that point, and you used to call me up all the time, like, Dandrick, send me boards, man. I need boards. I'm gonna skate. And I was like, oh man, Dennis, that's awesome. Okay, I'll send you a bunch of boards. And I'd be sending you boards, and then somebody came up to me and told me, like, he's just trading that stuff for junk, right? And I was like,
Yeah,
what?
Guilty.
And then that was it, man. You called me up, and I was like, yeah, I'll send them out for you, and I didn't. And because everybody was telling me you were trading them out or selling them. Yeah. And then I was like, oh man, I'm not doing him any favors. And I remember I hooked you up with a couple really fat boxes. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, I could have been part of the problem. But your mom's part in that video is, and I didn't know your brother either. I didn't know your brother was on it as well, man.
Actually, all my little brothers are in there.
Yeah.
All my little brothers are in there. My older brother and my little brothers, and my mom and my dad was already gone at the time. So I got to have my daughter in there, which is precious to me, and then my sons at that time, and so it's a movie that is timeless, because drugs are still relevant, drugs are still taking place right now, and so if I can help somebody that's addicted, use my movie, I'll use it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still know there was a lot of skaters that had issues with drugs over the years.
At the end of my movie, Dope, you see in the credits, it shows all the names I try to get all the names of all the people that died from drugs, and there's so many of them. And now, if I went back and redid the, the end, we'd add a lot more in there because a lot of our era died because of drugs.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to speak to people that are out there right now. Drugs destroys. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you're a skater, the Pope, or whoever you are. It has one purpose, and that's to kill, steal, and destroy. And so I'm going on 26 years clean and sober, and I love my life. If I wouldn't have what I have today, I have a beautiful wife, my junior high sweetheart I married. I have a daughter. There's a lot of things. I've been all around the world sober now, and get to enjoy it. And I get to help people every day, all the time. Ask my wife. My phone's ringing all the time. Late night, 2-3 o'clock in the morning across the world, from Brazil, Italy, Australia, so wherever I can help. I've always been a person now that loves to help.
Yeah, I was amazed at it. It's a really, really good video. If you guys can go on, I went on YouTube and found it. It's in sections. Yes. I noticed, and so I watched each and every one of the sections, and I learned a lot of stuff about Jay that I didn't know. Even if you're a Jay Adams fan, and you want to see what he went through, take a look at it. He's got his own section. Dennis has his. Like everybody has, like Christian Hosoi. Like I heard a lot about his stuff, but then I got to listen to the story, and a lot of things I heard weren't actually the truth, I guess. And that kind of straightened the whole thing out. So
and Bruce Lloyd,
was,
one of my idols.
Yeah.
Talk about La Costa, the Logan brothers, Brad and Bruce. Here I'm a young kid, 14 years old, and being dropped out there, no way home. I lived in Bay Park at the time, and these guys are world champions. They brought me home.
Yeah.
So I'm really close to the Logan family.
Yeah.
Bruce has been one of my idols for the longest time, and I remember when I was up and coming. When the up and coming, I was the up and coming, and Bruce knew. And so me and Bruce had some fun times, and I remember Bruce was trying to get me so high that I couldn't compete. But I ended up winning the U.S. Open up at Kona in Jacksonville, Florida. Bruce, I don't even think Bruce even made it out to skate. I made it barely, and I won.
TA took your spot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
More ways than one on that.
Did we do BP20?
No, we haven't done it yet.
Okay. Or 3. Yeah, let's show a little bit of it if you want.
Okay.
Of the video, so you guys can take a look. Well, this is a little bit of a section of that we have. But this right here is past Vans. They sponsored it. And I got to give props again to Vans, man. Like those.
We had a restraining order in Dennis one time that he couldn't come by the house at all. And every so often I'd be getting ready to go to work, and I'd be taking a shower, and I'd hear the doorbell. And Dennis, I hear Dennis say, "It's just me, Mom. I wanted to come by real fast. I know I can't be here." I'd open the door, and there's a Coke bottle with a flower in it. Or I'd get a knock on the window, and where I'm take a shower, and there he is. "Had to see you, Mom," and take off. Just that fast. And but God answered my prayers, and we're all okay now.
I think it was closer to around the World Championship in '77 when I was starting to slide a little bit, choosing the drug over the love of the sport.
How old were you at that time? How old were you when you 26 years ago? I guess we just figured that out then,
sure.
huh? Yeah, okay.
A long time ago.
Yeah. I'm thinking, okay, let's see, around 40, 42, 45, whatever.
That's right. Long time ago.
Well, hey, man, at least you made that transition as opposed to being on the end of the death part.
That's right.
Because I know a few stories, but we won't get into that. Oh, I just feel bad that I had already jumped into it. All right, well, moving along here. Okay, so 2020, you're inducted into the Hall of Fame. Your whole family, I had to say you were sitting behind me, and your whole family, everybody was here.
That's right.
That was remarkable. I think you had like a table or two, or it was
Yeah,
like
a
an
couple
extended
tables,
table,
yeah.
or you guys had a table and then you had
One
like
towards the back.
6 extra chairs in it.
Yes. You make do. That's what a skater does.
No, I saw that.
I know you would never do that.
No, I
You
didn't.
follow the rules.
I did, man. When I got to my table, there was only one chair.
Yeah.
There was one chair, and I was like looking around, like, well, I don't know where my kids are gonna sit, and
Yeah.
I don't know where my,
Yeah.
what the heck here, and yeah, and then people started bringing chairs back over,
Yeah.
and then we at least got to sit down, so that was cool.
Yeah.
It was trouble, but it was all good. But yeah, and you had your speech and stuff, and I think we have a video of a couple different videos actually of when you went up, and I know it was a really it was a full night, man.
Yeah.
That was a
Well,
long
it was
night.
37 inductees. It was 2 years combined when we got. I mean, I was with she was my fiance at the time.
Yeah.
She told me you got in, and I'm like, no, they didn't even say. And all of a sudden, I started getting calls from Lower Thornhill, and I started getting calls from different people saying congratulations. I go, for what, being nominated? No, you got inducted in the Hall of Fame. And all the time, my wife now, it was my.
I know we're not supposed to grab the mic, but I'm going to grab the mic. Mom, I dedicate this tonight to you. Mom, you stuck by me no matter what. I love you. I love you, Pris, my beautiful wife. Christiana, my daughter, you've been with me through this whole time, and we did it. I love you. My brother Paul, I love you. Keith and Helen, thank you for everything you do for me and my family. I love you. My brother Johnny Ray, who named me Flying Aces, who couldn't make it. I love you. My daughter Nikki and her fiance Joe, I love you. I love you, my skate family and friends, and to all the sponsors from the old to new and believing in me, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you to all the
I missed the ball on
photographers.
that one.
Skateboarding Hall of Fame,
'Cause they
thank
told-
you,
they
thank
told
you.
us we
Steve
couldn't
Van
speak.
Dorn,
You
you're an
know.
incredible man.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the blessings you
waved
do for the
and
people
I-
and me.
I spoke for about
Skateboarding is the
15
best sport in the
seconds
world,
and thanked
amen?
the people, but I didn't thank the people that I
Thank
should've
you,
thanked.
Jesus, for saving my
And,
life and letting me
'cause,
live.
you
I
know,
owe you my life.
They told me no,
And
and
to
then
all
all
my
of a sudden
fellow
they
men
dragged me
that I
up there
work in
and
the
it was
prison
something.
with,
It's like, yeah,
this
just
is for
get up
you
here and
also.
talk.
About Rick Blackheart,
Yeah.
George Gordon.
Yeah.
They weren't up there just going, oh gosh. And they just got up there and they kept it short. So it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I gotta get Georgie over here and
Yeah.
on this program here. Just it's George, you know. Mr. Bongo himself. He had some big things back in the day, but, I don't even call you Dennis or D.
D.
Yeah.
DM.
But yeah. Mars.
Hackett always called me Mars. Alvin them called me Mars.
Oh really?
Alvin them called me Mars.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a question for you. There's a picture up right now. Okay, who's he pointing to?
Oh, the Jer.
Is that Jer?
Jerry.
Oh my gosh,
love
man.
the Jer. Look
Yeah.
at Marty Grimes. Look at all those guys up there.
I
Rick
know.
Blackheart. Yeah, that was a real good one.
Yeah, look at and Strope. The Strope was right there.
That's
I mean,
that's an iconic picture for me because I mean those to me are the great skaters right there. I mean not anybody else wasn't, but to be up on the stage with those guys, look at everybody was having a great time. I mean Marty Grimes, well deserved. Love Marty Grimes. George Orton, yeah.
yeah.
Apple said one. I don't think he said one word. I think he said thank you. That was it. That was the quickie.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's one thing I remembered about Doug is he was, well, I don't know if it was me or what, but like Doug and I, we never talked.
You guys never talked.
We
You guys
never-
still don't
we-
ever talk.
I
That's the
know,
most
we
talking I've
still-
ever heard in my life. Boy.
I guess I got a lot to say. I've been repressed for all these years. So it's like, I got it.
Yeah.
No, the whole reason I wanted to do this was just basically to start there and tell some stories.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, contest wise that we did. Oh yeah, that's a great picture too, right there. But
You know,
You know,
and look at, you know, Steve Van Dorn, you know, I'm going to say this again, you know, he put this together. I went up and saw him prior to the Hall of Fame, and he said, "Hey, we're going to hold it here." And like, what do you think? And I said, "What a great idea!" And I had no idea it was going to be in the area that he did it. And I think I like that a lot. It was beautiful outdoors. Ton of people. That's like 710 attendees there, and 37 inductees. And so that's probably going to be one of those things where it's going to be remembered as.
it's going to be there next year probably too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Stuff. But the Hall of Fame, real quick, Todd Uber, who handles the Skateboard Hall of Fame, I want to do a shout out to him because, you know, I hear that he struggles month to month to keep the Hall of Fame open.
Yeah.
So I'm addressing industry companies right now, like POW, just whoever's out there, Soy, all the companies that have companies out there, you know,
Support
Main
it.
Street supported. If you guys would send $200 a month, I did the math, $200 a month, he could focus on really developing the Hall of Fame even greater instead of trying to fundraise every month to keep the place open. And us as skaters should support him also. And so on my site tomorrow, I'm going to post something for Todd for the Skateboard Hall of Fame where you guys can send your donation, and I will target other people, other companies out there, and hit them up privately to get them to commit to $200 a month. That would take care of the rent for him, and then Todd could really take the Hall of Fame museum to the next level.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's terrible that he's got to struggle so much. He's using his own money to keep that thing alive. Doesn't charge anybody to do it that I know of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free, and you know, he's been struggling for years with this thing, and yet when it comes around time to do this thing, you know, he's got to go in there and work the deal with Van Doren to get, you know, the whole thing up and running. And I know he puts a lot of time in it. Laura Thornhill, thank you too.
Thank you.
I know that you're really busy with everything. I mean, you know, Paul
Mark
Schmidt.
Waters.
Yeah, well, God rest his soul, man, because
Yeah.
you know, I mean, he was really taking it to the next level, and you know, another great person we lost this last 2 years, whatever ago. Yeah, that was a heartbreak there, for sure. Let's see, who else was there? I'm just trying to think of other people that I know that have helped out.
All over.
No, I know, but I mean, like, the people that are actually helping Todd, you know, like, I didn't know what Schmidt did, you know, and he built a podium for it. So I guess he got to stand and talk the longest for it because he built that. But I know there's a lot of other things that.
Kathy has done.
Oh, Mark Schmidt. Mark Schmidt is really involved in it, you know. And I know Dale Smith was helping out for years on that too. So, you know, shout out to all those guys for really putting it down for the hall. And you're right, we really definitely as a community, you know, support that a lot more. You know, a lot of the new companies too. I mean, you know what? You're gonna have future kids that are going into the hall. You know, and it would be terrible if it closed down and your guys don't get in. So, you know, it doesn't take it.
If you've never been there before, your mind will be blown away. There is so much history and stuff that I didn't even know about, and he's able to explain it to you. He doesn't have the time to really do that, but he would if he didn't have to always try to fundraise and figure out how to raise the rent. But if you go in there, he takes the time and walks you through the history of skateboarding, and you'll see boards that you've never seen before, and you'll just be in awe. So I want to give a shout out to Todd. You know, great job, and I want to help you. I want to help you raise that money so that it's there every month, that you don't have to worry, and you can just take Skateboarding Hall of Fame to the next level.
And I hate to, you know, beat a dead dog here, but another thing too, companies can do is even do a work with him. What's the word? Do a collaboration with him. Right. You know what I mean? And right. if you guys want to do a wheel or do something where you can give back, you know, 6, 7, 10%, anything will help. And you know, you're supporting skateboarding, and it's just a really, really good thing.
And there's so many companies out there right now, and especially the new school companies that are out there right now. should be contributing to this because someday you're going to be old school also,
Yeah.
and you want your
We're all gonna-
legacy. You want your legacy written.
We're gonna be dead.
Yeah,
And
you're gonna be
gone, and the next generation,
one.
yeah.
So you guys got to carry the baton. You guys got to carry the torch.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So, we did that. Now let's talk about what you're up to right now. What's Dennis doing now?
Well, you know, I'm still a lover of the prisons. I've been going into prisons 21 years now, and it's my heart. It's a place that I should be for all the crimes I've done and got away with. And I thank God because of one right decision, God changed my life. And you know, I give back today. And I think one of my greatest slogans now is one of the best things I've ever done was to invest in people. Why? Because people invested in me. So I go to the very places a lot of people don't want to go to. And, you know, when I walk away from there, when I drive away from there, or when I come back from a different country or a different state that I've gone inside the prison, I feel like my tank, my bank account is completely full. Me and my wife just got back from doing death row in Texas. And it was 290 death row inmates. I got to learn about death row. I got to learn about how each person makes transition from pod C to pod B to pod A before it's time for him to be to go to the death chamber. And we did 2,900 inmates, and then every weekend me and my wife go into Calipatria State Prison and we do the weddings inside, we do the chapel inside. And so it's my time to go with my wife and, you know, just spend time with her. And I'm getting her broken into the prison. Her nickname is Level 4. And the different size levels, is how radical the prison is. You know, level 1 is, you know, simple, but level 4 is max, and then death row is after that. So we go inside the prison and we do the weddings and some of the incredible stories of how these women met the men. And you know, we've seen everything from the wedding being called off at the last minute at the prison, you know, or the bride didn't wear the right type of clothing, and you know, list goes on. But it's, for me, it's, you know, it's very rewarding for me to do that and see these guys. I've helped thousands of guys that got out of prison, hundreds and hundreds of lifers, if you don't know what that means, that they committed a murder or they did high crime, and they got 25 to life. So they have to basically do close to 25 years before they can even go up for parole. My best friend who I did crime with got 678 years, and at that time they made him the poster child for the three strikes law. You know, he's still in, and hopefully he's going to be getting out within the next year or so. He's been doing very well. My little brother went to prison, and now he's 17 years clean and sober, and he's attached and helping a law firm and helping a lot of people. And so for me, getting and helping people is one of my greatest things that I like to do. It's very rewarding for me. It's very hard work. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of patience. I started a drug rehab because I love dope so much, and you know, I wanted a place for these guys when they got out of prison, they would be welcome to come to, blasted with tattoos, probably had a list of, you know, murder, double murder, or whatever they've done, but now it's a whole new kickoff for them to go and start their lives and, you know, put a lot of hard work in. They would stay with me for 6 months. I would have to go through everything with them. I would get these guys that are so hardcore in the prison, and they'd be sitting next to me crying because of a girl. And I'd look at them and said, "Really? You're a shot caller in the prison, and you're sitting here next to me crying about a girl?" I want to slap. You know, I just want to slap. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude, man up. But no, you can see them now, and a lot of these guys own their own businesses. They're married and have kids. They haven't forgotten what they've done, and their whole thing about what they've done, they said they're going to live their life for the person that they took their life of. Yeah, granted, they might have been gang against gang, but that person who died, it was somebody's son. You know, somebody's son. And no matter what they've done, they don't deserve to have their life taken. And these guys know it. And that's the only reason why they got out of prison, is because they became responsible. So yes, I mean, right now, that's my work that I do. I love it. Rehabilitation and work inside the prisons. I leave tomorrow again.
Where are we off to?
El Centro.
Oh, okay.
El Centro, Calipatria, yep. We go there, get all set, I get all the marriage license, and then Saturday morning we go on and bring these couples. Pretty rad. Love it.
Wow. All right. Well, I just want to thank you for coming. That's awesome. We do have like a special little thing to go out on this today, which is Dennis's version of the Hall of Fame, which basically we were all asked to put together videos. I didn't do it. They ended up doing it for me. And
Harvey Hawks.
yeah.
Hawks put this together, did an incredible job, and you know, this is what I was going to show, and it's never been shown before. And tonight is the first night it's going to be shown, and I'm super grateful that I'm doing it here with you, Dave.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. And
we're going to watch this right now, and I'm going to watch it with you guys, and we're going to run it all the way through. So hope you guys like it.
They're out. So you want to say goodbye?
huh?
Say your goodbyes, because
Okay, yeah. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody. This is going to keep playing as we shut down here, but the video is going to stay live. And I just want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you.
So if I fumble
Chris?
a little bit, it's because I'm looking at her and I got you know, the butterflies. Yeah, I love my wife. She's my partner.
Okay, we anyway, so thank you for watching, and enjoy this next 8 minutes. It's actually got a lot of history and a lot of really cool skate spots that were there. And anyway, thank you again, and we'll see you next Thursday. Okay, take care. Bye bye.
I'm just so proud of my dad. This is a long time coming, and he definitely deserves it, and I'm really proud of him.
Actually, the first notoriety of California was through skating. Dennis Martinez got TNC the first logo cover. That was the first cover before. We never got a surfing cover, we got a skateboarder cover.
Good friends. We used to love skating together. There was a little Dogtown down south rivalry thing going on that the magazines made, but we didn't pay attention to it. I guess I could speak for me, and I know that Jay will say the same thing about it. When we used to go to competitions and stuff together, it was all about just being there together. It wasn't really about the competition. It's nice to get first place, but you know, just hanging out with guys like him, that was what made the whole trip.
Dennis, man, you were the first pro I ever saw. Up at Kona, stationary spacewalks, you won that contest. Dude, I went home, practiced those things to no end, got a shot of you, put it on my wall. Looked up to you all those years. When I finally met you, I was too nervous to say anything. I idolized you as a kid, dude, and as an adult, I respect you that much more. Thank you for the inspiration. Congratulations. Took you long enough. Proud to call you my friend. Take care.
But I can tell you, truthfully, that Dennis Martinez is the guy that I have the most love and respect for in so many ways, because of his transformation, because of his spiritual connection, because of the fact that he's willing to give his whole life, time, heart, and soul to helping others. And that's just, that's a priceless thing.
Remember Remember, I've been there since day one, so to watch my brother, the rise and fall, and then the recognition that, that I believe he rightfully deserves. You know, I take a look back all my life, I was, let's just say, for lack of better words, the little brother looking up to big brother. And I wanted to be him. Fast forward to adulthood, I still want to be him, man. I love you, Dennis. And you've been an inspiration since day one, and now you're even a bigger inspiration, and I appreciate you in my life. Thank you.
People often ask me, what's the best trick I've ever done? Old school kickflip, 2 feet out at Spring Valley Skateboard Park in the Soul Bowl deep end.
Congratulations, big brother, you deserve it. I love you.
I think he's the cutest skater I've ever seen. I'm so proud. I love you, baby.
I want to dedicate this induction for the Hall of Fame to my mom and dad, John and Kathy Martinez.
Skateboarding Hall of Fame. Wow, Dennis. I mean, I knew you were going to make it, but just to say it out loud. Congratulations.
Hey, Dennis. This is John from Covian. Hey, I just want to shout out to you and just say congratulations to your induction to the Skateboarding Hall of Fame. So well deserved.
From Carver here. Congratulations on being inducted into the Skateboarding Hall of Fame. It's a truly great achievement, well deserved. And thank you also for all the great work that you've been doing with the Guns for Skateboards program. I know you've truly saved lives. Thank you, brother.
Congratulations, Dennis Martinez. 20 years working together. Glad you accomplished it. Skateboard Hall of Fame. Peace out.